gonna get ready. My SOS.
Nope, I know how to do this. That goes on our studio machine.
No, very good.
That's where that came
I was wondering about that.
So many questions.
Perfect.
So many questions.
It's okay, you answered all my questions.
It's Tuesday. This is when we have all the questions.
Well, yeah.
Because we weren't here all weekend. Well, Sunday, Monday. I tried to tell the kids that next weekend was Easter.
How'd that go?
They looked at me funny.
Well, that's because they're old enough to know how months go.
I'm not, apparently. It's October. That means in Canada we have... Oh, that goes on our clam poop.
Yes, it sure does.
Thanksgiving in October in Canada. That's how we roll.
Did you forget it was Thanksgiving until then?
No, I couldn't remember the word for it and called it Easter. That's what happened.
You know, you eat turkey on Easter too, so isn't it like the same thing?
Pretty much. There's less chocolate at Thanksgiving.
I'll bring you chocolate.
I'm going to my mom's for Thanksgiving.
Oh, nice.
She said something about pie.
Homemade? What kind?
I don't know. Probably lemon meringue. And Rice Krispie pie, because my son does not like pie crust.
Rice Krispie pie.
So pretty much you make Rice Krispie squares in a round pie dish and cut them in triangles. Like pie-shaped wedges. Call it Rice Krispie pie. It gets over the stressed out Eli hurdle of dessert that has weird texture.
That sounds delicious, though. I'm down. Can I have some Rice Krispie pie, please?
Sure. Sure, I think that'll work.
Fantastic.
Anyway, welcome to Tuesday at my sewing room.
I'm Chelsea, and this is Leah.
I'll be Leah today. I'm working on it. I'm trying to be Leah today. We have talked on and off about 3-yard quilts over the last couple of weeks.
Our staff challenge.
Our staff challenge is well underway. And I'm nearly done my quilt top. I was sewing borders on last night. And if you've heard me talk about borders before online, I'm fully capable of making borders for quilts. It does not bring me joy.
She does not like it.
All the other parts of quilting I like. Don't mind binding, don't mind quilting, don't mind basting.
See, I disagree. I really like the borders.
Is it because you feel close to done?
It's because I can drive my brother like it's a Ferrari and go...
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like it so much.
No, just not my jam. Anyway, I'm using ombre fabric.
Oh, I can't wait.
So
I haven't seen any more pictures.
No, I know. I think I'll be able to get the other borders on tonight. Turns out I picked a quilt with 3 borders on it.
Yeah, Leah
which I didn't realize until I was looking at it, like, to finish it. I was like, oh man, I thought there was only 2 borders and there's 3.
You didn't get that when you were cutting it?
Oh, I didn't actually cut my border pieces because one was not used in the center part of the quilt at all. So rather than losing stuff on my cutting table, which is a very big mess at home right now, I left that one piece of fabric to cut until I was ready.
That's so interesting.
All 3 of my fabrics from my 3-yard quilt ended up in the borders.
I like that.
And I cut one of them, but only one. But I have like 6 projects on the go right now, so I needed smaller piles of things.
That's fair.
I actually have a hanger hanging out. I'm in the basement, so I have a post in the middle of my sewing room, and I have a hook on my post so I can hang hangers from it, like my structural post.
Yeah.
And that's where I hang like fabric in progress, so it doesn't end up in the mess on the table.
That's a good idea.
It's I don't have enough flat surfaces, or I have too many flat surfaces problem.
I feel that.
So anyway, we're working on 3-yard quilts. I know one staff member has quilted already.
Yep, Sandy.
Sandy
She went
quilted.
through all the motions. She only has 2 steps left to go.
She needs to make a label. She needs to do binding. So we're all racing to the finish line right now.
I'm gonna quilt tomorrow.
Sweet.
I'm excited. My quilt's been done for only like over a week.
Well, we had a little special event last week, which cut into quilting time.
A little bit, but that's okay. It was a super fun event.
It was.
I had so much fun.
Right? So we're going to talk about labels today. Part part of the reason I think everybody should make labels for their quilts all the time is that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into your projects. They're pieces of art. And it's really hard, not necessarily this week or next week, to know who made that quilt for you. But I have baby quilts for both my kids.
You don't know where they're from.
I have a couple rag quilts that I don't know who made them because I was a very, very, very sleep deprived mother. and I know one was from an aunt on my husband's side of the family and one was from an aunt on my side of the family.
Oh, and you don't want to get that mixed
And
up.
they're nearly the same size, but I don't actually know who made those quilts for Sarah. So to be able to pass them down for her to give to her kids, some of that family history is already lost. And a label would solve that problem in lots and lots of places.
Sure would.
So labeling your artwork, whether it's a small signature in your free motion quilting, I've done that before, or making a quilt label. There's permanent markers that you could write on fabric with.
That's what I usually use.
But we're gonna up your game.
I know, I usually doodle in it and all the colors
Nice.
because I write ridiculous things for my mom and my dad and my grandpa.
Nice.
I love customizing a quilt label. It's my favorite part of the quilt, I think.
Well, and sometimes it's a place to add that other special message that you want to add in there.
Mm-hmm.
So wedding quilts is nice to put the couple's name and the wedding date. Birthday baby quilts, it's nice to put the baby's name, who the quilt was made by. Sign your work, your artist, sign your work.
I think my nephew's quilt says, from your favorite aunt and favorite family member, Auntie Chelsea.
Nice.
It's true.
Yeah.
All of it's true. I'm his favorite.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, lots and lots of ways of making a label. I'm going to coach Chelsea through digitizing a quilt label in embroidery software so she can do an embroidered label.
I've never played with the Bernina digitizing software,
Sweet.
so it's exciting.
Yeah. So anyway, I think all we need to do to get that up and running is if you hit,
You have the buttons.
oh no, I have the buttons. I have to give you the buttons. I think if you hit screen on our stream deck there. Haha.
Oh, look at us go.
Yeah.
I'm so good at this.
So first of all, today we're running in Bernina V8 software. I do not have my login for my V9 software memorized.
Ruh-roh.
So I can't log into that at work today. It's loaded on my computer at home, and I just don't have it memorized. However, there's multiple levels of software that could get you to the same point as this.
Mm-hmm.
So if the full designer package is beyond what you're ready for, Bernina Toolbox software comes in little modules, super easy to plug and play with. It's really lovely. I think I have it loaded here too. Brother PE plus 2, Brother BES 4, or PE Design 11. So those are some of the tools you could use if you wanted to do it on your computer and send it to your embroidery machine. Some of your machines have really great options for building out something like a framed box with words. A little bit different of how you get there between Brother and Bernina. But we're going to talk the software version today. And if this is something that you're like, oh, what? I could do this? We'll be scheduling some software classes for the fall.
Yay!
I know we're in fall right now. We didn't do that today. It's on my to-do too.
But it's only the beginning.
I know. It's to like not fall out there. So anyway, right now in V8 software, this opens up into our main design screen. And along the left-hand side of the screen, there's a box that says digitize. And this is a menu where all your different digitizing options are hiding. So I would probably start with your lettering and then we'll figure out maybe a pretty frame around it after.
Okay.
So if you click lettering and then click in that creamish colored on the screen,
Oh, that was easy.
you can start typing.
Oh.
And hit enter. Don't worry about that yet.
Okay.
So don't worry at all at the very beginning about what's showing up on screen or if it's way too long. We have options to edit all of that. And it has a default font called London. which I don't know about you, but it's not my favorite font.
It doesn't, make me happy.
Okay, so a couple things. We are, I don't know, a whole bunch of this is done with the mouse, and I can explain it as we go. But right now we have a hoop turned on. That looks like a Bernina large oval, or we can go up in here and double check which machine and hoop we're running. Bernina jumbo hoop. Do you want a jumbo label or do you want a little label?
I think a little label's good.
Okay, so if we aim to have our label fit in like a 4x4 hoop.
Yeah, that would make me happy.
Okay, so we'll start with a small hoop on screen. And if you don't like looking at the screen while you're doing fancy editing work, we can turn that off. There's an option to do that. It's going to auto center the way it's built right now.
Okay.
So,
great.
If you right click on your mouse, on top of that, you can scroll up to object properties, and that's where we can go start finding other things to play with. So there's a tab in here called lettering, and lettering is where you'll find all the built-in fonts in the software. And this will be very similar in V8, and this is where we can also tell it the height. And there's a drop-down menu with fonts.
Okay. Drop-down menu with fonts. Oh, it's right here where it says London.
Yeah.
Should I make it look like a child wrote it?
You're not a child, you're an adult.
I know. Okay.
And then you can start making decisions like, do you want it all on one line?
I like this one.
Or do you like multi-lines of text?
I think we should do multi-line. So do I just go there and hit enter?
Yep.
Oh, okay, that's too far. Should I put my last name on this?
Sure. You could probably put the year too.
Should I go September
Sure.
2022?
Depends how detailed you want to get.
Okay.
And then you have options up here to control your alignment line to line in the justification, which is just below where you selected your font. Over to the right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Center.
And then to see what that actually looks like when you populate it onto your screen, hit apply at the bottom, because that'll keep the menu open.
Interesting. There is a extra shape there.
There is.
Is that how? Is it that space bar?
It might be that space bar. Hit apply again. That's better.
Maybe I should capitalize this. Am I supposed to write how I quilted it?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
If you want, you could.
Let's do it.
You're giving it away. You're custom quilting on Pro Stitcher.
Oh, I sure am. Now I can't change my mind.
I like it. Other things we can start doing right now, this is all grouped and it will all stitch out in one color.
Okay.
So, and it's a little bit bigger than that 4x4 hoop size in that red box.
Sure
4x5. So we could change the height of these letters. If you go down to say 10, and you could actually type in that box.
Yeah, that sounds easier.
Significantly easier, and then hit apply again.
Oh, it's still too big.
It's reasonable because we could turn it when we
sure
actually go to do it, but it's really hard to read writing for spell checking sideways on your screen.
Should I ask you how you know?
Ask me how I know. I like to do everything the hard way at least once. It's a great way to learn. So that would be kind of your basic quilt label. Like I said, lots of embroidery machines. You do have the ability within your machine to add multiple lines of text, but getting them lined up and all sized together is a little more cumbersome.
Most definitely.
Directly on board your machine, especially if you know that end size that you're looking for. Harder to do the math to make that work, starting on your machine and ending on your machine. So from here, are you happy enough with that font?
I think so.
Okay. You can hit OK on that screen.
I like how it's called Night Owl.
Right? You sew it all at night?
No, I don't. I go to bed early.
Fair. The other thing you could add here, we could add back along the left-hand side there, under digitize, we could add a rectangle around the outside if you wanted to make a frame around this. And so this will be like a click and drag to make a box.
Yeah, it sure is.
And we can size it after. And right now you're going to make a second one.
If I hit escape, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you hit escape again on the keyboard, it'll turn off that tool, so you're not making more and more boxes.
Now I can drag things.
Yeah. And because the hoop is showing on screen right now, it will continue to auto center, which is kind of annoying. So along the top bar, there's an option to turn your hoop off, or second bar from the top, close to the right-hand side.
From the top to the right. There you go. Okay.
And then that lovely box you just made, we probably don't want it filled. We probably just want like an outline or a decorative stitch or something. So it's selected right now, and along the bottom of the screen, there's options for outlines. So we could change what's happening there. And you could go in and put something like a pattern run in. So it says pattern just below where your mouse is right now.
Yep, I'm doing, not finding it. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's cute.
And then this is something else where you could just have a satin stitch border on this. You could have a blanket stitch kind of border. It depends what your quilt needs. But there's some pretty cute patterns in there if you want to go.
Ooh, let's find those.
If you right click right now, you'll get back into those object properties. And it will open you into the outline stitch options. And right now you're in the pattern run. So if you stay in pattern run.
Oh, okay.
And you go select. There's a whole bunch of menus.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, what do we want? Quilting?
Maybe.
Ooh, some of those look fun. This one just looks crazy. It looks like something I would draw.
It looks like a little tiny meander. So these particular stitches are similar to the decorative stitches in the Bernina machines.
Oh, neat.
So you can take the decorative stitches that you know and love and use them in software to do other fun things.
That's cool. I don't think I need a satin. I think satin's too much.
So maybe home depth?
Oh, did I click not that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Click one and hit apply, because the worst that
Okay.
happens is you try something and you don't like it. So hit OK and then apply.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I kind of like that one. That one's good.
Okay.
It's picked.
Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but I find it really annoying when things are not centered. What? I like my words centered in text boxes, in fancy boxes.
I like it not matching up at all.
So if you hit OK on this screen, there's a couple ways to select everything on screen. One way is to click and drag a big box around everything, which works pretty well when you just have a couple things on screen. The other way is a Control-A. That would be the keyboard shortcut for select all.
It's already selected.
It was already selected.
I hit it anyways.
So right now, if you right click on that now, you'll have options in that menu for align and space. So we could go align centers, and that will align our wording inside our box.
Cool.
So anything else you'd like to change there? Do you want it all stitched in one color, or do you want multiple colors?
I think I want multiple colors.
Okay. So in that case, we can click on the words. And we might have to go into our color film, and there's color film is the gray thing on the side there where it's showing all the different colors. So right now it's all one color, and there's a little box that's a red square. Yeah. So this will show all your individual objects.
Okay.
The easiest way to start changing this into a multicolor thing is to, now that we have just those words selected, go up into edit, which is on the left-hand side again. Not that edit.
Not that edit.
That edit.
Oh, the edit. There's so many edits.
And scroll down in there. There's an option to break apart. You might have to click on the arrow to scroll in there.
Okay. break apart.
So we've done all the work to center everything and have it set up the way we wanted.
That's fun.
But if you wanted your name to be a different color in there, we could click on that and then click a different color. And not that the colors that you're seeing here on screen are necessarily what Chelsea will use when she goes to her embroidery machine. But then you can preview it all with whatever colors you want.
This is fun.
Nice.
I like it.
It's cute.
That was fun.
It was fun. One more thing we can do before we're ready to send this to the machine is go through the stitch player and see if it's going to be a nice easy stitch out, or if you've just turned this into something where you're going to have to change threads 4 times.
Don't want to do that.
No. So along the second row of top icons, I have the late names turned on, so some objects are hidden right now. There's a little tiny drop down arrow in that box. Yeah.
He's fun.
Yeah. And there's a thing in there that says player. And so we can watch the player go through and stitch the whole, like preview the stitch out.
Well, that's adorable.
And there should be an option with stitch player open to speed that up just a little bit. But I don't know where the menu went.
I lost it.
You sure did.
It's from my chaotic clicking, you see. That is very slow.
Yes. And normally it shows up right up here with the speed that we're doing our stitch player.
What if you right click it? Oh, it ended. Ruh-roh.
It's a setting on my screen. Options. General. Just gonna turn off show tool names. Everything fits better then. Still don't know where that Docker went. Every once in a while. Every once in a while things are just not where I expect them to be. Normally it's right in here. Comes in as a pop-up above everything else.
But today it is not.
Okay. Well, without that available, I'm just going to escape out of that for a moment. We're down to just 3 colors here. So an option we do have, let you go under design along the top.
That button? Nope.
Nope. Along the top, drop
This
down.
button?
Optimize color changes. Boop. Oh, don't do that. That sounds wrong.
I don't want to do more.
No. Okay, one more way of moving things around. In your color film, where it says made by Chelsea all broken up, that's the order of stitching that will happen. So I would probably do your blue text first. You want to work from the inside of a design to the outside.
Is this the button I wanted? Did I click the right thing? I just guessed.
Yep. And that, yeah, it looks like we have 1, 2, 3 things that are blue, and then the 2 things that are black.
That was easy.
Nice. Very straightforward. And the last thing would be saving this.
Okay, great.
So, save as. So it's going to save it as an art file, which is not the file our machine needs, which is fine. We're just going to save it that way.
Okay.
In case you need to come back and change it.
Okay.
You stitch it out and you're like, not thrilled.
Would I be like that?
Sometimes I'm like that when I test designs.
I
So
might
hit
be.
save. And then our final step will be to send this to a file for embroidery machine. So Bernina software and Brother software can both write to multiple formats. So you don't need Bernina software to send a file to a Bernina machine. You don't need Brother software to be able to send a file to a Brother machine. Cool. There's perks to sticking within your brand, for sure, but there's some things between software brands that are wildly different. So,
Okay.
So if you're on the hunt for software, there's trial versions for the Bernina if you want to give it a try before you invest. So write to card machine will get us a Bernina file. And right now it would like a bigger hoop because our design doesn't quite fit. We made it slightly bigger. So hit cancel. Now we could turn the hoop back on, which is a little blue hoop shaped icon. Yeah. And so probably the easiest step would just be to go up a hoop size at this point. And
How
do it in
big
a
would that be?
large oval.
Yeah, we could do that.
So under settings and options. And then there's a tab in there called machine and hoop. And if we go Bernina large oval, I think we'll have a very happy.
And rotate at 90 degrees now.
Yeah. So we'll want to go select all like that. And there's actually rotate 45-degree icons up there.
I think that's perfect.
I think it doesn't quite fit yet. There we go. Now we're in a large oval hoop. You got it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. So really like 15 minutes?
That did not take long at all. I feel like I'd be sitting at the machine longer to do that.
We could do an
probably
estimate
more
on the stitch out. So if you go up under design, we can go design properties. And it's going to populate estimate for a time on that particular machine. There's a lot of trims in lettering, so lettering doesn't always stitch out very quickly. But there's one color change, 60 trims, because there's a lot of letters, which is, there's options to change trim settings later on to have it stitch out faster if you want. And I don't know if that decorative pattern run is all grouped, but those are all things we could figure out before you actually go to stitch this out. If you hit OK, we can turn off stitches, which is the big fat red squiggle on just
big red squiggle.
Yeah. So right now with the stitches turned off, it shows you the outlines of the blocks and the triangles are where it's going to trim.
Interesting.
So we can see exactly where those trims are happening. Different fonts have different trim settings built into them. And some of them you'll get a little tail of thread between your letters. But if you don't want to have to go through and trim those out after, this is okay. It's just slower to stitch.
I'm fine with that. I don't want to trim.
Perfect. So now we could send this to a file for your machine. So if you're wanting to write it and do it on a Bernina, it would be a write to card machine. And we could go EXP. And we don't have a USB stick plugged into this machine right now. But that's how we would get there. If you've moved up into the Bernina V9 software, it has a Wi-Fi device and you could send wirelessly to your machine.
Neat.
And my Wi-Fi device is plugged into my Brother embroidery machine. So they're not, you don't have to use a Bernina Wi-Fi device on a Bernina. It's brilliant.
That is so handy.
Right?
I didn't know that.
It's great.
I learn something every time on Tuesday.
The only downside to the Bernina Wi-Fi device is apparently it takes the same Wi-Fi bandwidth as whatever my kids are streaming on. So if they're playing Xbox and watching their iPods, I can't send designs because there's not enough Wi-Fi in my house.
You just have to go
I just need like a
school.
second Wi-Fi line in my house that's just for my embroidery.
That sounds excessive.
It really does, right?
Just for embroidery.
So I still move lots of my designs with USB stick when I need to.
Blame the kids, why don't you?
I will blame the kids.
Okay.
I'm going to show you one more thing in here. If you wanted to stitch this out on a Brother instead of sending the write to card machine, we would go export machine file. and there would be an option there of PES, which would be our brother file type.
Look at how many options there are.
But this is where you could get all those other file formats that you need.
I didn't know singers made triple X's.
But apparently that's what they do.
Interesting.
Right? So you could hit cancel in there, and we'll save it. We have the art file saved. So there we go. If we scroll, we go back to front. Boop, back to front. That's us again. We'll show you the label when Chelsea has it stitched.
Maybe I'll do that for Thursday.
That sounds solid. Oh, just reading comments. Try view. Yeah, I'll have to figure out where my stitch player went. Every once in a while, when I'm not, I do almost all my digitizing work on my home computer, and the store studio computer is always set up just like ever so slightly different. So sometimes things are just, like a smidge to the left, and I can't find them. I know what I'm looking for.
Happens to the best of us, Leo.
Yeah. My favorite pattern run stitch on the Berninas is stitch 914.
Mine is the prettiest one. I don't have a number.
You should come up with a favorite.
Okay. I'll come up with a favorite for Thursday.
Sweet. That sounds good.
By Thursday, I'll have a favorite. I promise.
You want to know what 914 is?
Yes. Yes, I do.
That's cool.
We also have to check out what Anne's is. 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. Okay.
We have to see this.
So I'm just going to digitize another. Oh, do you want to hit screen again?
Boop.
So I've made another line. There we go. Let's turn this into a pattern run. I want to know what hands is.
I do too. Is there a way you can search by numbers? Oh, here's this little star. That's cute. I like that.
So that's adorable.
That makes sense. It is cute. Yeah, yours is in the children. Oh my gosh. It's a bicycle.
It's a bicycle.
This does not surprise
Nope. Shouldn't surprise anybody. But I can put that around my border on my...
Are you going to?
I haven't decided yet.
How are you going to quilt yours?
Also haven't decided yet.
Because you have to do something you've never done before.
I know, and the problem is I teach a lot of classes around here and I've done a lot of things. I have an idea. I have to see if it's going to work.
What is it? Spill.
Well, in PE design software, there's an option to create new pattern fills for my design center.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to design your own. Cool.
But I've been looking at my quilt for a couple weeks now. Not sure what it needs to be. Because I also like to overquilt everything.
You could make it over quilt everything.
I feel like it needs arrows. Or words.
Just arrows pointing into the center.
I don't know yet.
Words would be cute.
Yeah.
It would take forever.
I know.
But it'd be cute.
I have thoughts. None of them are
It's
solid.
something you haven't done.
It's true.
Because you've used the Pro Stitcher, right?
Yep.
You've used blue tiles.
Yep.
We did that class on Edge to Edge Pro.
Yep.
With Emily Scott.
Yep.
Have you used the quilting designs in the Luminaire?
I've used the quilting designs in my design center before, yes.
Okay.
And I have used like the sashing tool in the Luminaire. And yeah.
You've quilted on your 10 needle?
Yep.
Okay. The Q-matic?
Yep.
Okay. So if anyone knows an idea for Leah, maybe she should hand quilt it.
That's pretty much the only thing I haven't done.
Even I've done hand quilting.
Yep.
I can say that I have not officially finished a quilt. 2 years later, it's still in progress because it's in a box.
Yeah. So anyway.
Machines are more fun.
Yeah, no, I have two potential thoughts, but neither is this. The other one is quilting with heavier threads on a cover stitch. But the way I want to do that is going to require some reverse engineering to do it how I want it done.
Do you mean taking your quilt apart?
I need to baste it first, so I need the block outlines to do it the way I want, because the nice part of chain stitching is the underside. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have thoughts.
That
Like I
could be
said,
interesting.
like I said, I have thoughts.
Because you have all those little flying geese on there, right?
I do.
Yours is just a whole bunch of flying geese, isn't it?
It's flying geese and facing two directions with kind of a different shape in between, like a parallelogram.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
I looked at some designs in Pro Stitcher, and as you saw, I'm a little bit indecisive. I looked at them all, and I still don't know what I wanted to do.
That's a tomorrow you problem.
Tomorrow me problem, yes.
So I need to head out so I can go put more borders on my quilt tonight. You need to figure out what you're quilting for tomorrow.
That's tomorrow's problem.
And I should probably figure out what I'm quilting, like, right away.
Yeah, because when are these due, Leah?
End of the long weekend.
Oh, great.
So we can get binding done over the long weekend.
I'll have all weekend to bind.
Right? I don't mind binding.
I love binding.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying, especially when you machine bind.
Oh, it's so fast.
I think Anne has a video on our YouTube for that,
She sure does.
which I'm going to follow.
It's an awesome video. It works so well.
Yeah, I want to see if I kind of do mine right, but I bet Anne has a better way.
There's some tricks at the corners. All lovely.
I would love some tricks on corners.
Yeah. So anyway.
It makes me happy. Oh, we didn't talk about our fabric, Leah.
Oh, right. We have fabric too.
Our favorite!
I got all excited about software. Well, it's got alphabets and fish and animals. Are those yaks?
There's a yak! Isn't it cute? There's a whole panel up here. And there's a book panel to your left. I put it over there for you. But it's cute. Nancy was telling me my nephew needs this.
She also told me that my nephew needs it.
So,
Animal-
Nancy is going to sell it. It's ABC 123.
ABC 123. It's a great name. I really like the yaks.
ABC, as easy as 1, 2, 3. That's all I know about that.
And the lizards.
Isn't it just adorable?
There's a chameleon.
This would actually make an epic I Spy quilt. It is the cutest little hedgehog. Just a ball.
When I was a kid, I didn't want Barbies. I wanted a pet alligator.
Of course you did. Did you also want a little cobra?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when we gave up on being allowed to have an alligator because it's not a valid pet for a 6-year-old.
What? I can't believe them.
I did end up with iguanas and some salamanders through the years.
They didn't get you like a snapping turtle or something? I feel like that would have been
No, I
applicable.
quite like iguanas though.
Iguanas
So
are cool.
Anyway.
I used to have a bearded dragon. He sat in my hood all the time, and I went for walks, and he'd just hang out.
Yeah, my second iguana, his name was Don, because that's what you name iguanas if they're not named Ringo. It's the first one's name. He would if I was reading in bed, he would come sit on my forehead, which was fine until he walked down my face. It was not so comfortable. He had long claws.
I can see that being uncomfortable.
Anyway, not that has anything to do with life right now. I would have an iguana again for sure. I don't think Sean would be in.
But you could make so many sweaters for your iguana.
I don't think iguanas need sweaters. They need heat lamps.
They like being warm. Make them sweaters and booties.
Oh, we didn't talk about Viewers Challenge.
Viewers Challenge! I'm glad I talked about booties.
It was actually the sweaters. Maybe? Nope. Booties.
Something?
We started another Viewers Challenge for October.
Mm-hmm.
Your challenge is to make something 3D
And wearable.
before the end of the month. Think hats, capes,
Ears.
a mask, but like the masquerade kind, not the medical kind, because there weren't enough of those. Kind of over that. Might still need to occasionally. Or bunny ears, or a whole Halloween costume. Make it for yourself, for a pet, for a doll.
Your friend. Leah, I'm gonna make you a costume.
Okay.
I'm not gonna make you a costume. I don't have time.
Nope. My kids might want costumes. We should probably discuss that right away. But yeah, we have some patterns. We have some ideas. Maybe you take your freestanding spooky shack and turn it into a fascinator.
Or, you could just
Or
get
actually
the freestanding lace hat. It would be a little bit more normal.
But yeah, your viewer's challenge is to make something that you can wear that's somewhat on theme for the month of October. We're very flexible. Share photos. There was an Instagram post and a Facebook post went out today with where you can send those photos to, so we can share them back out to all our other lovely viewers.
Yeah, we have a couple phones for the store now too, so you can text us your photos.
If you're not ready for email or you don't do Facebook. If you're watching us on Facebook, you probably do Facebook, but...
Well, and sometimes it's just easier to shoot a text.
Right? So yeah, that's mostly what we have for you guys today. We talked about Viewers Challenge, fabric, quilt labels, label your art. That's my word of advice for the day.
Agreed.
So we'll let